The 2x1 swirl stitch is recommended to learn after you make the brick and the twist. You'll need 3 strings of equal length and tape. Each string I used is 5 feet, 1.5 meters, and that is for a 5 centimeters or 2 inches long lanyard. Like the twist, the swirl comes with 2 separate rotations, left-handed and right-handed. One rotation will spiral clockwise and the other counterclockwise. For this left-handed swirl, I'll be starting with a symmetrical alignment of colors. Then I'll create 6 swirl stitches and an end stitch. I'll be using tape with the first 4 stitches, including starting. Then the last 2 stitches I'll be demonstrating it with my hands, and that is after you are more familiar with a stitch. So have fun! For starting a symmetrical 2x1 alignment, you'll need to place your 3 strings as follows. Place 2 strings in an X shape and add a strip of tape that is about twice the width of a string. The third string goes over the strip of tape, so all 3 centers of the strings are close to each other. Then add 2 more tapes on both sides of a third string. They also should be twice the width of a string. Then place 6 pieces of tape with arbitrary size for all 6 sides of the strings. We're going to use these pieces of tape throughout this entire section of this tutorial. Now we're going to weave a stitch. Take the upper orange string and move it to an area shaded in orange. To do that, you're going to remove this specific tape. You're going to move the string to the shaded area in orange, and then you're going to place back the tape. So every time you're going to move a string, you're going to take off a tape, move it to the desired place, and then you're going to place the tape back. The bottom orange goes to the area shaded in orange at the upper right. Next, all the horizontal strings are going to woven accordingly. The right gray goes over to the right orange string and under the left orange string to the area shaded in gray. The left pink goes over the left orange string and under the right orange string to the area shaded in pink. The right pink goes over the right orange string and under the left orange string to the left area shaded in pink. And the last string, which is the left gray, goes over the left orange string and under the right orange string to the area shaded in gray. Now you need to stretch the stitch. For that you'll need to get rid of the tape. One way is to first remove the 2 tapes from the orange strings. Then you can freely stretch the orange string. And once it's stretched enough, stretch the gray and pink strings individually while keeping the tape pieces. So remember to keep these 6 pieces of tape because we're going to use them later. Remove all the tape and stretch again. So the first stitch, start replacing the 6 pieces of tape onto all the 6 strings. So again, we're going to use these pieces of tape throughout this entire section of this tutorial. Take the upper left string, which is the left gray string, and place it to the area shaded in gray at the bottom right. Next, take the other gray string, which is on the bottom right, and place it parallel to the first gray in the area shaded in gray. Pick up the top orange, go over the first gray and under the second gray to the area shaded in orange. The bottom pink goes over the second gray and under the first gray to the area shaded in pink. The second pink goes over and under to the area shaded in pink. And the bottom orange string goes over the second gray and under the first gray to the area shaded in orange. Remove all the tape, saving them for the following stitch. Stretch a stitch, and we will proceed to the second stitch. Second stitch. First, place the pieces of tape on all 6 sides. So we're going to start by picking the upper left string, which is now the left orange, and moving it to the area shaded in orange at the bottom right. Next, pick up the second orange string and move it parallel to the first orange to the area shaded in orange. Now the upper gray string moves over the first orange and under the second orange to the area shaded in gray. Weave the left pink over the second orange and under the first orange to the area shaded in pink. The right pink over and under to the area shaded in pink. And finally the second gray string, which goes over the second orange and under the first orange to the area shaded in gray. Remove the tape, saving them for our next stitch, and stretch the stitch. And we'll continue with a third stitch. Third stitch. First, place the pieces of tape on all sides. As you can tell, the third stitch alignment looks exactly similar to the first stitch. So as we did with the first stitch, we're first gonna take the left gray string and move it to the area shaded in gray. Next, the second gray moves to the area shaded in gray. The upper orange goes over the first gray and under the second gray to the area shaded in orange. The left pink goes over the second gray and under the first gray to the area shaded in pink. The right pink goes over and under to the area shaded in pink. And finally, the second orange goes over the second gray and under the first gray to the area shaded in orange. Remove the pieces of tape and stretch the stitch. And we'll continue with the fourth stitch. So the fourth stitch is going to look exactly like the second stitch. Place the pieces of tape on all 6 sides. First, the left orange string moves to the area shaded in orange. The second orange string moves to the area shaded in orange. The upper gray string goes over the first orange string and under the second orange string to the area shaded in gray. The left pink goes over and under to the area shaded in pink. The right pink goes over and under to the area shaded in pink. And finally, the second gray string over the second orange string under the first orange string to the area shaded in gray. Remove all the pieces of tape for the last time and stretch the stitch. You have finished your fourth stitch. This will be for whoever mastered the stitch with the tape method. So the left gray string will be on the left side, the right gray string will be at the right side, and then the other 4 strings will be woven accordingly. The upper orange string goes to the left, and then the left pink, and then the right pink, and finally the bottom orange string will move to the farthest right. On the left you'll see diagrams that represents the steps of a stitch. So I'm going to take the left gray string, I'm going to fold it to the left side in between this orange and this gray, and the right gray string I'm going to fold it to the other side parallel to the first gray over here. Next, I'll take the upper orange string, gonna weave over and under, and I want to make sure it's gonna be at the left side here. So this pink string is on the right side, this orange is on the left side. Next I'll take this pink, and we go over and under. And next this pink, so this pink is in between this orange and this pink. So again, over and under here. And finally, this orange string, going to weave over and under in between this gray loop and this pink loop. Okay, now I'm going to stretch. And finish the fifth stitch. So for the sixth and last swirl stitch I'm gonna make, I'm gonna pick the upper left string, which is now the orange string, and move it to the left side, and then the other orange string will move to the right side. The upper gray will go over the right orange and under the left orange to the farthest left side, and then the left pink goes over and under, the right pink goes over and under, and finally the bottom gray, which will move to the farthest right side. So I'm gonna take this orange string, move it to the left side, right orange string, parallel to the first gray, the gray string, over and under, and again I want to make sure it's on the farthest left side over here. Now the pink string goes over and under, and in between this gray loop and this pink string. Okay, and next this pink over and under again. And finally the last gray string, and make sure it's over and under and in between the orange and pink loops. Let's move it here. And stretch a stitch. Before gonna make the end stitch, I just wanted to say that if you struggle with making the end stitch, you can always glue the stitch and cut the strings. It's totally fine. Many people do that way, and yeah. So let's make the end stitch. First of all, I need to unstitch the last stitch I made. Now, if you ever seen an end stitch for a break stitch, it's exactly the same thing. So let's explain. I'm gonna take first the upper orange string. I'm gonna go around the upper left orange loop and then getting out to the center of the stitch in between the two pink strings. And then I'm gonna do the same for each string. I'm gonna take the left gray string, then gonna go around the left pink loop and to the center of the stitch in between the two pink strings. And we're gonna take the left pink string, go around the gray loop to the center of the stitch again in between the two pink strings, and then so on. So the bottom orange string around the bottom orange loop to the center, and then the right gray string around the right pink loop to the center, and finally gonna take the right pink string around the right gray loop to the center of the stitch in between the two pinks. So I'm gonna take the upper orange string around the orange loop to the center, then the gray string around the pink loop and again to the center, pink string around the gray loop and again to the center, so around here, and then go under here throughout the center of the stitch here. Okay, next the orange string around the orange loop and again to the center. Let's do it again. Okay, see, it's a little bit confusing, but you know, that's how Boonoggle Man does it, and I like it that way. Next, the gray string around the pink loop and again to the center. Right through here. And finally the last string, and that will be in between the gray and pink loops. So exactly in between here, and then down here and to the center. So not over here, but one step through. Let's just show you again. So I do pink string around in between the gray and pink loops, underneath this and over here. Now for stitching it up, I usually like to do is to take the string in one hand and the other hand will just gonna press all this whole mess here. It looks like a mess, but you'll see it's in the end stitch. So you just press it that way and then just, stretch every string one at a time and do the same idea. So press again maybe, and then maybe press every string one at a time and do it for a couple of minutes maybe. So I'm gonna speed it up. Once you're done, you're gonna cut the strings and that will be it. I like to have some length, maybe the length of your thumb, so you can stretch it even more. And yeah, so that's the result, and hope it got well on your side as well. I'm just gonna zoom in here to show you the end stitch, what I've got here. So yeah,